Hello, my name is Myra. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the 26 books that are going to be in my 2026 list. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a lot of people, whether they pre-buy a reading journal or they do their own bullet journals, they come up with a list of 26 books to read for the new year. So for this year, of course, it was 25 in 2025. Next year, 26 or 26. I don't know what's gonna happen when it's like 2100, but we'll see. Now, I do have a reading journal that I'll be using for this year, and that is this Little Inklings Design planner. It's a full planner along with a reading journal. And here she has her section to do the 26 and 2026. So what I did last year was that I wrote some of the books that I knew mentally, like I really wanted to read, but then I also included books that were going to be new releases. And this year I'm doing something totally different. I'm going to be doing physical reads. Books that I own as of right now, December 2025, are going on this list. I want to work through my physical reads. The fact that I was able to pull 26 books that I haven't read is crazy. If I read them and if I don't like the book, maybe I can gift it to a friend, or this is like the type of book that I can take to a book swap. If it's a special edition, I can go ahead and sell it at like a decent value, not like super marked up, because I believe in karma and those people will get their karma. So anyway, I have some special editions mixed in here that I will be reading very carefully, because obviously if I don't end up liking the book, I will either gift it to a friend that I know really likes the book, or I will be reselling it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start off with some of the ones that I've recently mentioned. So here I have Cyrus by A.E. Cosby. This book, it has to do with werewolves, and there's humans and there's wielders. And I know that when I met A.E. Cosby at SimiLitCon, she said that her assistant, or at least the girl who was assisting her at SimiLitCon, sent her a video crying because this book completely destroyed her. And this is going to be a series, or it's a duology. So this is the first book. Next up, I did start this book, but I know I'm not going to read it this month. So I have The Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole. This is book 2 in the Gods and Monsters series. I read the Book of Azrael this month, or actually last month in November. Loved it. I have been living under a rock. I mean, I knew about the book and it's been on my TBR for like over 2 years. The fact that I just barely read it is ridiculous, but I will be reading this book and continuing the series because it is like thicker books, and obviously there are the other books that I'm gonna want to be reading. I think I'll be reading maybe like one of the books a month or one every other month, and I think hopefully the next book will also be releasing in 2026, so I should hopefully be like pretty much caught up by the time that next book comes out. So that is this. Next here I have Love Fool by Cynthia Rodriguez. So I read Lovesick by her, absolutely loved it. Unhinged characters. This one also has unhinged characters, but from what I know and I believe, this story is about revenge. So I don't know, it sounds really good. The one book that I read by her, I loved it, so I feel like I'm really gonna like this. But she does specialize in dark romance, and the main reason why she does dark romance is to empower women. So I love that. And I mean, this cover, this is her like special edition cover, but yeah, top on the list as well. And then I have Shadowed Obsession. This is another book that I had also mentioned. I believe there is a little bit of crossover with the characters here. Like I think some of the characters are mentioned here that are from this book or something like that. Because I remember when I went to Cynthia's table at SimiLitCon, she told me about Evelyn Leigh. My friends have read this book, loved it. It's a stalker romance, but she's a baddie. That's all I know. This is another like top priority for 2026. And then another book that I had recently mentioned is Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport, or Davenport, I think that's how you say it. This is a standalone fantasy, which just blows my mind because you'd never hear about a standalone fantasy. And again, people that have read it, including Amber V. Nicole, who is the author of the Gods and Monsters series, like the Book of Azrael and all those other books, also talked about it at her signing and said that this book was incredible. I've heard nothing but great things. And here on the back it just says, a warrior princess and a vengeful king from rival Fae courts form a fierce alliance to take down a merciless despot. In this journey of powerful magic, enemies to lovers, romance, and political intrigue. So I love a good enemies to lovers. This is gonna hit the spot. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This book came out this year. This was one of the Fairy Loot special editions that came in my box. I don't really know what the book is about, to be honest. Again, this is just one that came in my box. I do see here that the heroine can predict terrible things before they occur. There's lords and common folk here. So it looks like there's going to be like knights and kingdoms and stuff. So I just really want to read it because, again, this is also another book that is really, really pretty. And I feel like if I like it, then great. But if I don't like it, this is a book that I can give or resell at the normal value to someone else. Then we have The Air He Breathes by Brittany Cherry. This is actually a book that my friend recommended. I do believe that this is a second chance. I think both of them are grieving their like spouses that passed away. I think that that's how they met. So I do know that this is a more emotional book. When I picked it up, I was grieving the death of a loved one at the time. So my friend also told me, maybe don't read it right now, but I think that this would be a good book to read now, like at any point. And it does say here, a haunting love story. So I don't know. I think that this is going to be like a good emotional book when I need something like refreshing, like sad depression, like not sad depression. You know how sometimes like you just want a good cry? I think that this is going to be the book for me. Is that weird? I don't know. Next year I have Futbolista by Johnny Garza Villa. I had this on my TBR for this year. My friend Aurora has been telling me, you need to read this. She absolutely loves this book. I'm gonna try and see actually if maybe I can read it this month, but I will likely not. So I think that's why I'm already building up my 2026 list, just so I have it, just so I know. And if I don't get to it, I can add it to my list. But this is also a very, very high priority TBR for me. I play soccer. This has to do with a professional soccer player who, because he's in this very like macho, we are men type of environment, he can't come out. And so I think also right now with like heated rivalry being as popular as it is, and the fact that it has to do, I mean, that's hockey, but it's, again, two players that are in a very like masculine and like macho environment where coming out would not be received nicely, which honestly is so heartbreaking. I feel like this would actually be perfect. So I think I will be reading this in January, but don't quote me on that. Island Princess Starts a Scandal by Adriana Herrera. Adriana Herrera, I read her historical romance, The Caribbean Princess. Freaking loved it. Like, I loved it. It was hot. There was yearning. She was like a strong businesswoman. And this one is a sapphic historical romance. And let me tell you, the audiobook was so, so good. So I think I am on hold right now to try to get the audiobook, but I think I would want to definitely read it and listen to it at the same time. But this cover is also like really, really pretty. This song is Undateable by Susan Lee. This is also another book that just released this year. I think that this is a reverse age gap, and I know it has to do, oh, it says CEO seeks dating coach. So I think that she is older than him. She's 30, she's single, she doesn't really know how to date, and she gave out like skincare and stuff at her signing because, like, if you bought the book, because skincare, Korean skincare in particular, is supposed to be a really big part of what's in this book. And Susan Lee is just hilarious. So I feel like this book is also gonna be like a feel good, like laugh out loud type of book. Taken to Nobu. This is by Elizabeth Stevens. This is book 2 in the Siveri, I hope I'm saying it right, it's with an X, or Skiveri mates. This is the perfect alien book if you are looking for something kind of similar. Think like Ice Planet of the Barbarians, but very, very different, because this already takes place in space. Like, there is no such thing as Earth. And I loved the first book. I thought the first book was really interesting. You're really spending time in space and you're traveling to different parts. So I'm fascinated by space. That is one thing that I like. I love stars, I love the moon, I love planets, like eclipses, stuff like that. I'm a huge nerd when it comes to that. And I think that this one, they are fated mates, but she does not want to be his mate. So, you know those books where it's like you kind of have to like warm your way into them? Like, I think that that's what this is going to be about. Sleeping with the Enemy, oh, with the Frenemy. Sleeping with the Frenemy by Natalie Caña. Natalie Caña too, this was another book. I read A Proposal They Can't Refuse, loved it. It's about a like dispenser, or not dispensary, a brewery. It's like an Irish brewery, and a Puerto Rican restaurant that are kind of trying to stay afloat, but their grandparents have been like family friends for years. So they're trying to keep the business going. It was really, really cute. It was really, really sweet and I really loved it. The second book is A Dish Best Served Hot, which I do have a hold on in Libby. And then Sleeping with a Friend of Me is the third book. We Take It, which is the Infatuated Fae book 4 by Janine O'Reilly. So this is the fourth book in the series. Look at this. I'm like, oh, who is he gonna meet? This is the conclusion to the series, I believe. I don't think there's gonna be any more. Oh yeah, it says, I promised you all that I would wrap this series up with a bow and a happy ending, and that is exactly what you shall get. So this is the fourth book. I figure I want to conclude the series already and just kind of go through it. I have been doing the audiobooks though, so I think I'm gonna go that route first before physically reading it. But again, it's another series that I really enjoyed the other 3 books, so I think if I enjoy this one, then that's even perfect. This is another one that I heard a lot of people talking about, and this is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. So this one, I think it says that there are winged beasts, women with many names. There's a temptress who whispers in the dark. She is peace and chaos. She is terror knocking at the gates. I've heard nothing but really great things about this book as well. I think obviously there's like magic. Oh, is it about Lilith? So I think it's like gods and stuff. I don't know. It sounds really, really interesting. And I also really, really like this cover. This book has been on my TBR forever. So this is Legendary by Ali Shante. And this is actually book 2. At this point, the third book is already out. I think even is there a fourth book? I think there's a fourth book. Or maybe it was 3. But yeah, Living Legend is the first book. Legendary is the second book. And this has to do with like angels and demons. But it's not what you think about. Like, first book, they are forced to work together through some things that are happening in heaven, and it's just a mess. They hate each other, nobody trusts anybody, and it's a good time. Like, you go on a lot of adventures with them. This is book 2, and again, the third book is already out, and I don't know if it concludes in the third book, to be honest. But my friend's like, dude, why have you not read the rest of the series? Like, she's completely caught up with this, and she's like, you need to read it. I have a creepy one that I will probably be reading in October, and that is The Possession of Alba Diaz, and this is by Isabel Cañas. A lot of people were reading this, especially around October. This is one of the books that honestly I'm terrified to read, and I was terrified to read, and I think that that's why I wasn't like super on top of reading it. But it is a book that I definitely want to read, and I've heard good things about it. My friend did say it's not as creepy as I think, but I'm a huge chicken, so I was like, are you sure I'm not gonna be scared? Like, and also I saw here, let me see, who was it? Somebody said to not read, oh yeah, it says don't read it too late at night. So yeah, that's scary to think about, but this is probably going to be more of like a fall 2026 read, unless somewhere in the middle I'm feeling like brave. Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I did see that this book was like nominated for like awards and stuff. I've heard that it's really, really good. It's supposed to have a lot of plot twists, and I guess she's the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I have not read those books yet, but this one, what intrigued me, first of all, look at all these brain pictures. And I can relate. I've had my brain scanned a few times. I have epilepsy, so I've gotten like CT scans, MRIs, blah, blah, blah. And this one, she is attacked on Halloween night, and she doesn't know like who the intruder or like who it was. But the doctor tells her that basically within a week, she's probably gonna die because that injury that she has is gonna trigger an aneurysm that's basically gonna hurt. So she has a week to find out who murders her before she actually dies. So it just sounds really, really good. And again, it's supposed to be like a plot twist and everything. I haven't read anything by Holly Jackson, so I feel like a thriller I can probably do earlier in the year, or maybe this will be like an August, September read. We'll see. Anna Academy by Elise Kova. This was another book that I saw a lot of people talking about, and this one was the special edition from, I think, was it probably, yep, probably Smut. That is one of the subscription boxes that I also have. And in the back here, it just says, sometimes it's the things we can't see in ourselves that have the most power. And I feel like already I really liked that dedication. I don't fully know what this book is about. I do know that there's gonna be a second book. So I think the second book is releasing next year. So yeah, and it looks like there is, I think there's tarot. I think there's like tarot involved in this book. So it is like a fantasy heavy book. But again, it's another book that it's a special edition, and I might as well read it. And if I like it, then great. The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This was another book that was also very highly recommended. She is the author of Mexican Gothic, which I actually read for my Latina book club this past September? No, October. I actually liked it. I found it pretty interesting. There was a lot of things that were really unique, I think, in that book. And it also surprisingly was not as creepy as I thought it was gonna be. There were some parts that I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put the book down and like read something else before I go to bed. Just because, again, I'm a chicken. I've stated that fact. But this one, I think it's supposed to be like less, yeah, it's supposed to be more like witchy. It does say it's 3 women in 3 different eras encounter danger and witchcraft in this eerie, multi-generational horror saga. Oh, so maybe it is more scary. But yeah, it's like 3 different women. They're supposed to be witches, and I think that they're connected somehow. So yeah, it should be like an interesting book. And I think this was another one that's really, really good for fall. Another special edition here, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I have not read anything by her, and I know that she's incredibly popular. People love and adore her books, and I have yet to read anything by her. I think I have Catabasis. Is that also? Yeah, that's all. No, that's R4. Okay, never mind. I was thinking of like letter dot last name, and totally different author. Okay, never mind. But anyway, V.E. Schwab, she's written a bunch of books. People love her books. And Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil was one of the ones that I heard was really, really good. Also, this edition is gorgeous. So I genuinely hope that I freaking love this book. This is the Owl Crate special edition. And it says, death comes, and sometimes it is kind, and often it is cruel, and very rarely it is welcome. But it comes all the same. Oh, I think these are sapphic, yeah, sapphic vampires. Look at this. Promise that you will never hurt me. This is like in the inside. Yeah, I feel like vampires are like the type of book that I will read year round. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be summer and like scorching out, like outside, and I'll read about a vampire that can't come outside because the light's gonna kill them. Like, that's fine. I love vampires. I recently talked about this book, so I'm just gonna go through it briefly. This is Heir of Illusions by Madeline Taylor. This is a fantasy book. I believe it had already been released. It's now getting traditionally published. And this one here, it says, she is not the pet that they tamed. She is the beast they let inside. This is a fantasy romance. I have a bunch of artwork that I showed in the other video, but I will just show this here to kind of intrigue everybody to read it. This book is coming out, I think, in February, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely will be reading this before it comes out. Another arc that I recently talked about is A Vow in Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. This is actually coming out in January, and this has to do with deadly tarot, wicked schemes, dangerous alliances. Can you survive the forge? So it looks like this is going to be very like tarot coded, magic, etc. And it says, claim your tarot, choose your fate. I've heard nothing but really great things. So this is actually on my January TBR. I'm already planning my TBR for next month. Will I stick to it? Let's hope. That one I definitely want to read it. It's like a debut book. It's the first one of the series. It's like perfect timing. I have this book that I've had for a while and I've been wanting to read for a while. This is what it came in. So it's this box here. This is the back. And then the book comes out in here. And that is My Dark Beast by Olivia Wildenstein. I think it's Wildenstein. And this one here in the back, it says, I'm falling for a stranger, a man who haunts my dreams. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything else. I know that the art here is beautiful in the book. And I mean, look at this too. I feel like this also kind of gives summer. So, but I think that obviously this is like a fantasy book, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is another book that I really, really hope that I like, because again, it's just beautiful. So imagine loving it and then having this beautiful edition. That would be great. But if I don't, I will sell it and part with it. Next, I have another beautiful cover, and this is The Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. This is the reverse jacket. And again, this was a special edition. But if you look at the art on the inside here, they're like eating, oh no, they're playing in this one. And then this one, they're just riding this beautiful phoenix. Again, the artwork is just beautiful. I don't know what this one is about either. This was, again, and I have unsubscribed from other book boxes now. I had a bunch of them at the beginning of 2025, and I was like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, I need to get rid of some of them. So it has to do with gods. Okay, so it does say here, what the gods did not give us, I would take. So, and even look at this. in the book, like the actual book. This one I also mentioned, so I'm going to go through it really quickly, and that is Eternal Ruin by Tigis Germa. I really wanted to read it this month simply because I finished Immortal Dark on the beginning of November, but I'm not going to get to it this month. I already know I'm not going to, but this says love is the first enemy, death is the second. If you love vampires, if you love dark academia, but these are vampires in a way that I have never seen before. Again, I've already talked about the first book, so definitely feel free to check out some of my other books, not books, videos, sorry. But this is the second book, and I think the third book will be coming out in 2026, and that's going to complete the trilogy. So you're kind of at the perfect time to read the first book and the second one. And also I listened to the first book and I loved it. So I think the audiobooks too would be a really great way to go if you can get your hands on that audiobook. And lastly, we have made it. I have Fallen City by Adrienne Young. I actually received this. This is again a Fairy Loot special edition. I did not know Fairy Loot was going to do a special edition of this book, so I'm glad I didn't buy the book, because when I saw the book in the store, already just like the regular published version, I was like, oh my god, I want to read this book. I didn't know anything about it. The only thing I read was the back quote. This one, obviously, I don't think it'll have the quote here in the back. No, it doesn't have it here in the back, because literally, I mean, the artwork here, Fairy Loot just does a great job. Fairy Loot and Owl Crate, I would definitely say, are like some of the best. Those are the two that I have, besides probably Smut. I did have the Bookish box, which I canceled. So this one here, oh, and then here's our heroine, which I just love what she's wearing. And this one, I think it has to do with like stars and all that good stuff. It just says there are no gods left to pray to, but there was a quote, there's a quote, and I do not remember what it was. I'll have to look up the book, like the actual book, but it made me want to read it so freaking bad, because I was like, oh my god, like what a quote. But I believe that this is like gods or stars or something. Really want to read this book, and the people that I've heard of, like that have read it, really liked it. So in case you are curious, this poor Tay was gonna give out on me. This is the like 3 piles of books. You can't even see all of them here. Hold on. Ugh. Okay, you can't even tell. But yeah, these are the 26 books that I have for 2026. I should probably not be allowed to buy any more books, like realistically, but also I'm like, my bills are paid and it could be going to like a worse cause, you know? But I definitely am going to be limiting the books that I can buy myself. I think I will definitely, that's a big goal of mine, but I'll talk about that more. I am going to be doing like a full 2026 planner flip through video to show you like what my planner looks like. I added some spreads myself of things that I want to track for myself. So I will be doing that in another video to show you how I set that up. If by any miracle I end up picking any of these books up before 2026, I'll let you know in that video what book has replaced any of the books that I mentioned here. But for now, this is the plan, okay? This is where we are gonna stick with, and I have plenty other physical books, I know it sounds horrible, that I can get through. So anyway, let me know if you are intrigued by any of these. If you did read or have read any of these, please let me know which one should be at like the top of the list, the top of the list. Let me know. That will help me. That will help me get through these. And I think, and my goal is to be able to mark every single book as read and like continue through my physical TBR. So we have big goals. We are overachievers, but we can do it. We just got to put our mind to it, and yeah, we'll make it happen. But anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.